and I'm Chitra here. I think you've seen me once before in the introduction. Most of you speak Tamil. Anybody who don't understand Tamil? Maybe Amulya? Do you understand Tamil, Amulya? You don't? Okay. So we'll have a mix of English and Tamil. So what we're going to do today is for this project, we are planning on doing a project for Sayur, but for the students, it will be a good project to add in your resume. When you apply for a job, it's good to have a project in your resume so that companies know what your skills are. You all already have projects in your resume, but when I go ask the students about the project, most of the time they are not able to explain what they did in the project because they did it with other team members, or the project is in like IoT, AI, or some technology that you can't even understand what the technology is. So you are not in a position to explain the project well. So what we are planning to do in this course is have you work on a project, but before you do the actual project, learn the technology you need to work on the project, learn it properly, and then do the project in a right way so that you not only understand the technology, but also when you go for your job interviews, you'll be confident enough to explain what you did. That's what will take you to good jobs. Correct? So that is the reason we are doing this project-based course. And just like all our previous introduction sessions, this introduction session also will run based off of the questions you ask. நீங்க என்ன கேள்வி கேட்குறீங்களோ அதை வச்சு தான் இந்த இந்த செஷன் வந்து 15 minutes போகுதா 1 hourக்கு மேலே போகுதா. இட் ஆல் டிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் தட். நீங்க கேள்வி கேட்கணும். ஸோ இப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டு ஸ்டார்ட் வித் இந்த கோர்ஸ் ரன் பண்றதுக்கு வி ஹாவ் 4 instructors. அவங்க ஈச் ஒன் ஆஃப் தம் அவங்க வந்து தேர் கோயிங் டு இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் themselves. They'll give some details of who they are, but it's up to you to ask questions. அவங்க ஒரு curiosity mind வேணும். Curiosity mind, I think I talked about it last introduction session also. Only if you are curious and ask questions, you will learn, right? We even talked about some examples last time. So I want you, hopefully, that you have spent 2 months with Sayur now, hopefully you have learned to ask questions. So start asking questions when the instructors introduce themselves. So once our introduction முடிஞ்ச பிறகு, then we will talk about the course. What is this course? How long is it? All those things. Again, you have to ask questions. நீங்க கேள்வி கேட்க we'll give more information and then we'll continue the meeting. சரியா? So that's what we're going to do. Any questions? Okay, இப்போதைக்கு okay. We'll start with the instructor introduction. I expect at least 1 or 2 questions for each of the instructor. ஒவ்வொருத்தங்க ஒவ்வொரு இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்டரும் அவங்க பேசி முடிச்ச பிறகு I would like each one of you to ask, at least a couple of you to ask questions. So yeah, okay, go ahead. Maybe Logesh, you can start here.
Hello, hello everyone. Yeah, so I'm Logesh Kumar. I'm working as a staff software engineer at Rocket Lane, a startup in Chennai. Rocket Lane is a startup in Chennai. So mostly I'll be concentrating on front-end part of the job. Like you heard about JavaScript, CSS, HTML, right? We mostly work on React.js. Right? So you can call it as a front-end architect, something like that. Okay. So initially, I would say I've been working with Chitra and with Sayur for a while now. It's been around 2 years, Chitra.
2 years, I think. Yeah.
I worked with other students also, and initially I worked on a project where students have completed a React project and they needed some help, and then I helped them with that as well. Yeah. So one thing I would like to say is like this. This is a great opportunity for you all. Like learning from the industry experts, like the other students. We are joining with Deva, Srijit, and my colleague Siva as well. Siva is a UX designer in Rocket Lane as well. So this is a very great opportunity. Like it's not like going through a tutorial, reading by yourself, and trying to understand where you apply that, right? So எங்க போய் அதை அப்ளை பண்ண போறோம், நான் படிச்சுட்டே இருக்கேன், நான் இதை எங்க அப்ளை பண்ண போறோம். நம்ம ஸ்கூல் படிக்கிறப்பெல்லாம் when we study during our school days, we think like when we're doing mathematics, where are we going to apply this? So when you meet the real world people and they explain you, this is where you apply that. This is where we are applying it in the job. So that would be very helpful for you. Like, and you understand how uh, how things work exactly, like how these theoretical concepts work practically, right? So same way. So when you learn from the industry experts, you exactly know this is what you are going to do with the job. So that will uncover all your fear, and you will be ready, job ready already. Okay. So that's the kind of uh, that's the kind of experience you will get here. So so the basic idea is like we will equip you with all the basic skills. Like this project is going to be the main technical stack is going to be in React.js on the front end. We will be learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, and the back end will be in the Node.js. And we'll be using MySQL for the database. I believe most of you people are already proficient with basic programming and database skills. So we will be, you know, sharpening those skills as well as learning new things. So a lot of exciting things to learn. Okay, so we'll be doing some simple projects in the beginning, and then we'll be starting the capstone project, like Chitra said. Like it will be a project which is going to be long lived. Like we'll be using that going forward for all the students as well as the uh, companies to uh, you know explore students from Sayur and recruit them from it. So it's like a more of like a LinkedIn application. Okay. I think I have pretty much told everything. If you have any questions, you can
Questions?
ask me. Yes, Gaurav.
Uh, so, sir, when you're getting projects from clients, do they tell you? Do they actually give you the design and ask to create an UI like it, or do they actually give you the freedom to create 2 or 3 designs? How will it be most of the time?
Great question, Gaurav. So I will start with the basic thing. Like when you take software companies, like there are two types of companies. One is service-based companies and the product-based companies. When I say service-based companies, the service-based companies will be looking for more software projects, so they get it and then they do it. So each and every project will have a different client, right? So there will be a client from I don't know, US, another client from Mumbai, and another client from I don't know, even Switzerland, something like that. So each client will be different. So in service-based companies, they might come up with their own designs. Okay, so they might have hired another UX designer. Let's say we have Shiva here who is working in a product-based company like Rocketline. But um, let's say there is another UX designer who is a freelancer who might have done the design, who might have helped that company to do the design already. Now they come with the design. So I have a design now. I need some developers to do this project for me. So this is one kind of a thing. Okay. In service-based companies, it's kind of a mix-up. So this can also happen. Otherwise, the requirement might be something like this. I have this idea. I want to turn it into a product. Okay. Now I'll give you the money, do end-to-end everything. So now in the in-house team, like in the company, we have a in-house UX designer, and the UX designer will do the design. It will go to different iteration. We'll show that to the client, and the client will say some corrections, go through the iteration, all those things. So, but the product-based companies, like we work on one single product. Let's say Rocketline. Rocketline, you can compare it with the project management system. Um, if you have heard of Jira or Asana, like so it is like a if you take a project, you have tasks and everything, tasks, projects, and the timelines and all those things. We can manage it with Rocketline, basically. Okay, very simple explanation. Okay, so this is a single product we are doing in Rocketline. So not any other external projects or anything. For the single product, we have different features on it. Okay, so we have a dedicated UX designer for this, and we have a design language. When we say design language, it represents the goal of the company or the theme of the company. Okay, the theme of the product. So there we have a dedicated UX designer, and the UX design will definitely be done in house. Most of the time, it won't be outsourced. Okay, so once the UX design is complete, the iterations will go based on there will be a PM who will be working closely with the UX designers. I think Siva will shed more lights on this. Okay, and once this design is finalized, it will move to the developers table. Now the developers, there will be a front end team, there will be a back end team, or people will be doing full stack as well, front end and back end. Okay, so now these developers will adhere to this design, and then they will do the development, and there will be some design reviews. So the designers will check if the developers are properly adhering to the design. Okay, so they will give some design review comments, and yeah, that's how the development goes. And once we complete it, we ship it. So in product-based companies, it will be features for the particular product, or in a or a new set of products as well. Or in a service-based companies, it's a separate project altogether for depending on the client. Client one have a separate design, separate development phase. And client two have separate design phase, development phase, something like that. In a service-based company. So did I confuse you, or did you get your answer? I can go back
Got it.
and hide. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Deep.
Sir, UI UX comes under a non-coding job or coding job, sir? And what are the jobs we can get through them?
Shiva, you want to take this?
Um, sure, Lagesh. I guess before answering Deepa's question, I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Sivakumar, and as Logesh mentioned, I work at Rocket Lane, so I'm a colleague of Logesh. And to tell you, I think all of you might have doubts on how to get into design. Do I need to know anything there, or do I have to study? So I'll tell you my background, right? So I'm from an engineering background. I did not know, just for the sake of like, I did not know. Like when I graduated, I didn't have a proper guidance on there's something called UI UX. Like these days, I think you guys are like even more exposed to a lot of technologies when you study, but you don't have to have any doubts on can I do it. I think it's more of interest that you guys can develop over time, and it's easy. I would say it's easy. Just be curious on if you're really interested. Just be curious. Keep asking questions, and if you want to do or get into UX design, I think one thing that you'll have to keep in mind is don't hesitate to ask questions. Right, only then you'll be able to understand a lot of things. Ask questions, and only then you'll discover answers, and that answers will lead you to ask more questions. So one thing that I'll tell you guys before we start this is don't hesitate. Nobody here is to judge you. All of us are here to help you, and uh, we will do together is what I would like to tell you. Now I'll take Deepa's question. Deepa, I would like to tell you that you don't have to know a lot of coding, but the basic understanding of basic HTML, CSS, and other things on how um, uh, basic understanding of the developers or how the technology works, right? That will help you. Say, for example, what is responsive design, or how does a website work? What is the structure? So all I think basic things. If you're okay with it, I think you can be a UX designer. You don't have to know a lot of coding stuff. You don't have to know a lot of coding languages. What you need to know is so I'll tell you what UI UX also. As Logesh mentioned, we have two different types of companies, right? I work in a product company, and the process that we follow is we get the requirement. Like, how do we get the requirement? Is we only have one product, and we don't get the requirement from different clients. It is us who decide on what features do we need to build and why are we building it. So the requirement comes from the PM. The PM goes and calls with the customers. They identify the problems that the customers are facing today. They get on calls with the customers, they identify the problems, and they come with the requirement of, okay, this is the problem the customer is facing. How do we solve it? So that is where design comes in, right? This is the first point of where design comes in, and that is where we start. So they come with the requirement of, hey, these are the things, the problems the customers are facing. How do we solve it with design? So then we sit, brainstorm with the team. We just do different iterations on, okay, can this be the solution, or we have multiple iterations. And then from there, I think we finalize on one based on a lot of logical reasoning on why this will work for the customer, why we feel this will work for the customer. And then we hand it off to the developers. So from there, developers do the job of making the design into workable prototypes, not just prototypes, but an actual, uh, how do I say, an actual product itself, right? A feature or a product for that matter. And from there, I think we go to the testing and then it goes to the final customer. So this is the process that we follow in a product company. More or less, I think service company also follows the same, but given that they have different projects from different lines, that's the only difference I would say. Did I answer your question or same like I gave a lot of information for you to consider?
I think end of the day, she wants to know should I learn coding or not.
Yeah, I think you don't have to need a lot of coding. That would be my question.
Yeah. Right, Deepa?
I get my answer.
You got your answer. Good. Any other questions? Okay, so we also got Shiva's introduction and Srijit.
Yes, Chitra.
Yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Uh, okay. I didn't. You asked me to give an introduction, right?
Yeah. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically, I'm Srijit. I come from Kerala, and I understand a little bit of Tamil. A little bit Tamil. I mean, yeah. And I mostly do backend engineering, and I currently like building a product-based startup like from scratch with my. We have a team of total 3 developers. Like we do everything from like the UX part to the development, integration, everything by ourselves, and we don't have dedicated back-end or front-end engineers. We do everything. And, like we are only 3 people, 3 people in our team. So yeah, I'm actually my tech stack is like basically I use Python technologies and REST for the backend development. But also like I love to explore other technologies when it's needed. And I previously worked in another startup known as Glass Crypto Labs, and it was like a customer analytics SaaS platform. And I worked there as a like a backend engineer for around 8 to 9 months, and after that, I decided to create a product. I mean, yeah. So the product is like it's a blend of social marketing. I mean, like social media thing plus local business interaction thing. I mean, like we are helping the local businesses like restaurants, cafes, and even venues or any popular places to gain more food user engagement. Which means like we are trying to bring more people into the cafes, restaurants, etc. by making those places a hub. I mean, like a hotspot where people can come and connect with other people. I mean, we have chat rooms. I mean, it sounds like a dating app, but with a bit more extra feature to drive the food user engagement of local vendors, local restaurants and other places. And there we are using fast API and some other things for the backend, and for the front end we are also using React.js and React Native. And yeah, I that's basically what I do. I mean, yeah, also I'm also a part of a few open source communities, etc. And I previously volunteered for some other non-profit organizations as well. um, yeah, I think that's that over there.
So I didn't know about your the actual product. I have some ideas on what you talked about. We need to talk after this meeting.
Yeah,
I'm so excited what you were doing. So we'll talk.
yeah.
Questions, students? He's working on a product. Is anybody curious about what that product is and anything questions on that side? At least one. Well, if not, okay, good. Oh, got it.
So as you mentioned, you've already worked in a startup, and now also you are working in a startup. How difficult it is for you to get the first client?
I mean, yeah, I mean, previously Lokesh and Shiva explained about the difference between the service based and product based startups. And I was actually initially working in a product based startup. In product based startup, we have a product. We will be focusing on the development and everything related to that product only. We specifically don't have any clients who pay. Our customers are our clients, but the thing is, like, we are not assigning the work by the client. Okay, so we are building the product for our company itself, right? So it was like there I don't need to specifically think about any other clients other than the customers who use the app. But yes, I also have done service work, because like our thing is a product, but the thing is, like, for managing the expense, we are not funded. So for managing the expenses of cloud services and other things, and our own expenses, we do service works. And landing a service work is very difficult. What we do is like our initial approach was we usually, like, we don't have any software as a service product. So what we for money, what we did is like we approached some connections and they give us some service works. Like for example, what we did recently was TVS. You might know TVS, right? TVS has a top haven, which is a local distributor here in Kerala, and they have around 22 showrooms in Kerala. And we recently got a project to build a customer relationship management for this dealer. And so this client was like we got this client through connections. So, and after that they will explain what the thing they want to build, and we will submit them a proposal. And after that we will just build some UI UX designs, and once they approve it, we will start coding, and we will make some agreements and stuff. And that's what happens in a service thing. We are trying our, like, we are not focusing much on service, but when we go out of funds, we do service. And so landing a client is very difficult. What we do is like we generally take some like a list of suitable businesses which we can approach, and we just call them. And when most of the time when we talk to them, they are like, you guys don't have any other job, just cut the call and go. This was the initial thing which we faced. And so landing a service is a really task. Service work is really tough. Even if you are a freelance worker, freelance guy, landing your initial work is like really hard. Was that your question? I think I slipped away from that.
So no, what will be, you have a product, right? So
Yes.
how are you going to first customer for that product? Or cafes in this case, right? Cafes or restaurants.
Yeah, we have a two type of users, like the customers. Like one is like the cafe owners, and if you are hosting an event, you can also use our app to create a space. If the event is happening in some kind of shopping mall, you can set that shopping mall as a hotspot, and for some specific time, or maybe as long as you want. And you are also a customer. You will be the host of that hotspot. And hotspot, like, and the other kind of users are the ones who join in that hotspot and match with other people. Also, we have a feature to chat with a random chat room in the specific hotspot. So those two are our customers. One is like those we don't we are like we are not planning to charge the customers like so our the guy, like way of what the way we are gonna get some funding from the cafe owners and people. See, if we want to like set a hotspot, set a cafe as a hotspot, we will buy some. We will be charging them a certain amount. The other users will be those people who come into that cafe and use the app, right? And for those people, it will be free mostly. And those people are from, I guess, as the age category will be 18 to 30, 35 people. Those, like the young people who is willing to make some social interactions or make some social connections. So we have two type of customers, and one is like the normal users, and another is the business owners. Where you want to. Was that Does that answer your question, Sidra?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. So we have, anybody else have any questions for them, or we'll move on to Deva next, the last instructor. Okay, Deepa. Yes, go ahead.
Sam, if I have some basic knowledge in HTML or CSS, JavaScript, and basics UI UX, and how can I get then intent through this kind of knowledge?
Uh, Deepa, can you come again? Sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Sir, I have some basic knowledge in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and basic UI UX. And
Mhm.
how can I get internship through these kind of basic skills? Sir, can you get
Okay.
you my question?
Yeah. You
She's
mean
asking if you
like,
can get an internship.
yeah, of course.
She's asking if the skills is enough to get an internship.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, maybe let's take Rocketline or any product-based companies I know, or any service-based companies I know as an example, right? They will be having some internship program, and yes, there will be some filtering criteria, I would say. Uh, for us, we mostly go to the colleges and we conduct some, drive. We will be giving some coding exercises. So this is for development, I'm saying. And once they complete the coding phase, we'll be having some rounds of interviews and then we intern them. So otherwise, there will be like internship in other non-profit organization like Sayur. So where the things are like different. So we expect commitment here. Like yeah, so that's one thing. And for this internship, yes, yeah, we expect some basic programming knowledge or basic knowledge and design, like not much, but at least what is what, and that is it. But yeah, it differs based on companies. Uh, the way they recruit interns is totally dependent upon the companies. Does that answer your question, Deepa, or you
Yes,
want me to?
sir. I get. Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Deva,
Hello,
Deva's introduction. Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Deva. So, first of all, I'm not an instructor kind of thing. So, I'm just similar age like you guys. So, I'm still a student in my mindset level, but I'm a working professional. Also, whatever I'm going to say, like there are people with much experience than me, like Lokesh, Shivakumar, and Srijit, and so I'm just learning. So that's why I said like that. So I graduated last year in 2023. Currently, I'm working as a backend software engineer in a Bangalore-based startup that is a product company. So I'm working there for around 1 year. And apart from that, during my college days, I've done a couple of internships, and I've also done open source contributions to open source projects. And apart from that, I also did freelancing, and one of the project is still in live for around 1 year, which is for a, you can say, for a gym. It is a gym management website, so entirely managing everything in the backend side for the admins. So it is currently live for around 1 year. So I've done some freelance projects, and apart from that, I'm just working like I'm mostly in around like Node.js and backend kind of things. And apart from that, in during my colleges, I've also explored machine learning and deep learning kind of things. I'm also planning to go much deeper to deep learning in my upcoming years. So that's how my career, I mean, my path looks like. But if you ask me like why I joined Sayo, this I'm just new to Sayo. Because like whatever I feel, there is something like I mean the path which I came through. What I feel like is I lack I lack the guidance actually. So there is no one to guide me like in my college days or in my school days. To because my parents also not much educated, so they also didn't have much knowledge around it. So what to do, where to go, which college to study. You can go to IIT, do JE, something like that. They also don't have idea, and my surrounding also something like that. Even though I'm in Chennai, but my surrounding is something like that. They don't have much exposure. Uh, so uh, so that's why I lack the guidance. I learned everything from myself. I learned everything by YouTube and self doing everything and reaching out to people and all those things. So the major issue I thought in the college also I didn't have the proper guidance since I went to a tier 3 school, not a tier 2 or tier 1, I mean school in the sense college. So there is no proper guidance there also, telling what are the opportunities available and giving some exposure, how the industry looks like, what are the exact skill the industry wants right now. So that's the main problem which I saw in which I saw, many people are lacking guidance. That's where Sayur is like I was Sayur was doing a great job, like filling the like acting as a bridge between students and the industry. So that's why I thought like I can also contribute to this goal. So because I have came through that part, so I can do give some valuable insights to the students like wherever possible. So even though like I feel like there are much exposure, there is no much exposure to students, like how the things, for example, how to apply to a job. It's like, for example, whoever are in this call, like their end goal will be to go to a job, but if you ask them like how to apply a job, they will directly whatever the CIO sends me, I will apply through that, or I will go through the job portal, I will apply through that. So these are the standard things which have been going for the many years, but things don't work like that in most of the cases. You can do other things apart from this. One thing is like I would say you can reach out directly to the recruiters or to the people who works in the company through LinkedIn. So that is one thing. So apart from that, for the tech, since you most of them are in tech, you can make use of Twitter actually, which is called X right now. So most people aren't aware that X has a great tech community. So a lot of hiring opportunities, or a lot of opportunities are going on X. So you can use these two platforms. So what I would suggest is like whatever you guys are learning, just do it in public. Do it in the public sense, like whatever you are learning. If you are learning a new thing today, like don't just keep it to yourself. Nobody is going to know. Like whatever you are learning, just put it out in the public. Put it in the LinkedIn. Put it as a post that today I learned a LinkedIn, and I mean sorry, learned a topic, and you can just share a screenshot of the code what you have done in the X in the LinkedIn. Just put it out in the public. You might not see likes or reach or something like that, but all the dots will connect at some point when you're trying to land a job. So for example, if I'm a recruiter, you're reaching out to me for a job with your resume, I can click your profile and just go through your post and all. So I can see, okay, this guy is learning this technology for around 6 months. These are the proofs. So that is one thing. So don't just do the conventional way, like whatever you guys are doing until up now. So that's why in this course we will put you in a different track. What like we all four will put you in a different track, the right track, which you the right thing, so that you guys can land up in a good job. That is the main goal of this. So to break the conventional things, what we are doing until up now, so we have to break those things and do different things what is working right now. So this is one part. There are many other things to like tell to you guys, but we will go through one by one, like after the course. So I'm not going to dump everything in this intro itself. So there are lot of things to say apart from this. So just be curious to learn things. Don't just take up easy things. So this is easy, so I will go to a job. So don't just do the easy things. That's what I would say. Just do the hard things, so that you won't be a mediocre, so you will be in the next level. So just that's what I wanted to say. So be consistent on this course also. Just don't drop out after 1 or 2 weeks. Just put your commitment, and that's what I would say. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
thank you, Deva. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, students, as you can see in the course, you're not going to learn not only Node.js and things like that, but you have four industry experts, and you can learn from their experience of how to be a good programmer and how to apply for jobs. It's a lot more you can learn than just the actual technology. So great. Any questions for Deva? Pavitra, do you have any questions for him?
Don't hesitate to ask. So if
Yeah,
you're
I
going
know.
to do learn in public, like these things, you have to break these kind of things. So just be open and ask whatever you want. No one is going to judge you.
Correct. Pavitra, are you there? Pavitra is yeah. Anybody? Doesn't have to be Pavitra. Anybody questions?
I mean, you can ask any questions. Like since we are working in companies, like you can ask us like what happens in a company in a daily day. What is your daily day job? Anything you want. Nothing is a silly question or nothing is a basic question. You can ask whatever you have in mind. We'll answer that.
Yeah, what I'm surprised is even if I call out the names, Pawan Kumar, are you guys here or just joined the meeting and left? If I don't get it, that's my go ahead.
Maybe we can ask everyone what is their goal. Maybe like what they
ரியாக்ட் ஜேஎஸ் அந்த மாதிரி எதுக்காக அதை படிக்கலாம்? இப்போ நிறைய ஃப்ரேம்வொர்க்ஸ் இருக்கு. பர்டிகுலரா ரியாக்ட் ஜேஎஸ், நியூட் ஜேஎஸ் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு, அதை மட்டும் படிக்கணும்.
நான் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுவேன்.
Yeah.
Deva, you can take it. Yeah.
So ஸோ நான் தமிழ்லயே சொல்றேன். ஸோ நோட் ஜேஎஸ், ரியாக்ட் ஜேஎஸ் வந்துட்டு இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு 3 to 4 years இருக்கும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் அடுத்த ஒரு 3 to 4 years வேற வந்துடும். ஸோ அந்த பர்டிகுலர் டைம் ஃப்ரேம், அந்த பர்டிகுலர் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல எது பெஸ்டா இருக்கோ அது எல்லா கம்பெனியும் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. ஸோ இது எதுவுமே வந்துட்டு இதுதான் வந்துட்டு ஐ மீன் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீங்க இந்த கோர்ஸ்ல ஒரு நோட் ஜேஎஸ் ரியாக்ட்லாம் படிக்கிறீங்க. ஸோ நீங்க கம்பெனில போய் ஒரு 10 years அப்படியே இதுலயே இருந்துட முடியாது. ஸோ நம்ம டெக் ஃபீல்ட்ல இருக்கனால லேர்னிங் வந்துட்டு எப்பயுமே வந்துட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ நீங்க ஒரு 5 years எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் சரி, 7 years எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் சரி, நீங்க அடுத்தது லேர்ன் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும். ஏன் லேர்ன் பண்ணணும்னா இப்போ கரண்டா ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்குன்னா அதுல இருக்கிற சில டிஃபெக்ட்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா வந்துட்டு ஒரு டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜை ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி எடுத்துட்டு வரது தான் அடுத்த ஒரு ப்ராடக்டா இருக்கும். ஸோ மேபி இப்போ ரியாக்ட்ல என்னென்ன இன்எஃபிஷியன்ஸ் இருக்கோ அதெல்லாம் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி எடுத்துட்டு வரது தான் ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜேஎஸ்ன்ற நெக்ஸ்ட் ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க்கா இருக்கும். ஸோ இதுல இருந்து எல்லா கம்பெனியும் பொறுமையா அதுக்கு மூவ் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஸோ டைம் பீரியட் நீங்க என்ன டைம் பீரியட்ல இருக்கீங்களோ அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி அந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல எது வந்துட்டு பாப்புலரா இருக்கோ அதை லேர்ன் பண்ணிக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா தான் நீங்க வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்கும். அதை மட்டும் தான் படிக்கணும்னு கிடையாது, நீங்க வேற கூட படிக்கலாம். பட் இதை பாப்புலரா இருக்கிறத படிச்சீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நிறைய கேட்ஸ் ஓப்பன் ஆகும், நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி ஓப்பன் ஆகும். ஸோ அது படிச்சாலும் ஒரு 2 years அப்புறம் நீங்க கண்டிப்பா வேற ஏதாச்சும் படிச்சுதான் ஆகணும். ஸோ பட் ஆனா பேஸ்மெண்ட் ஐ மீன் நீங்க இந்த பேசிக்ஸ் படிக்கிறது எல்லாமே எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கோ நீங்க அடுத்த டெக் ஸ்டாக்கோ இல்ல அடுத்த டெக்னாலஜி மூவ் ஆகும்போது ஈஸியா மூவ் ஆயிடலாம். ஸோ இதுதான் வந்துட்டு ஒரு இதுவும் மூவ் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும். இன்னும் ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் 3 years கழிச்சு நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா கண்டிப்பா ரியாக்ட் இருக்காது, வேற ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி இருக்கும். இப்ப நோடுக்கு பதிலாவே பன்னு வேற ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி ஆல்ரெடி வந்துருச்சு. பட் பன்னு வந்துட்டு இப்போதான் வந்துட்டு பொறுமையா வந்துட்டு எவால்வ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, சின்ன சின்ன கம்பெனிஸ்ல யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. ஸோ இன்னொரு 3-4 yearsல ஃபுல்லாவே நோட் கம்மி ஆயிட்டு பன் வந்துட்டு இது பண்ணலாம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் லோகேஷன்.
I think Deva has answered mostly. Like Pawan, இதுக்கு மேல இது புரியலையே உங்களுக்கு, நானும் ஒன்று சொல்றேன். which means like why we chose Node.js, React.js and the stack அப்படின்னா like we are going to work on a project. Since you have already learned basic programming skills, now we are going to work on a project. So we need to choose any of the technology. ஏதாவது ஒரு டெக்னாலஜியை சூஸ் பண்ணி ஆகணும். ஸோ ஏன் ரியாக்ட் ஜேஎஸ் நோட் ஜேஎஸ்னா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில அதிகமா ஜாப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்கிறது இப்போதைக்கு ரியாக்ட் நோட் ஜேஎஸ் அண்ட் எனி ரிலேஷனல் டேட்டாபேஸ். Like we chose MySQL, which is widely used. So that is the reason we chose it. Ana, whatever we are going to learn are the core principles. For example, வந்து இப்போ வெப்ல ரெஸ்பான்சிவ் டிசைன் படிக்கிறோமா, it applies everywhere. It's like basic HTML and CSS. ஓகே, ரியாக்ட்ல வந்து ஒரு ஆத்தென்டிகேஷன் சிஸ்டம் லாகின் அண்ட் லாக் அவுட் பண்றோமா, அது ஸ்வெல்ட்லயும் அதே தான், ஆங்குலர்லயும் அதே தான். தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் த டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க்ஸ். ஓகே, கோர் பிரின்சிபல்ஸ் அதே தான். அதே ப்ரௌசர்ல தான் அதுவும் ரன் ஆக போகுது. ஸோ நம்ம ப்ரௌசரை பத்தி படிக்க போறோம். ஹவு ப்ரௌசர் ரெண்டர்ஸ் ஜாவாஸ்கிரிப்ட், ஹவு ப்ரௌசர்ஸ் ரெண்டர் HTML, CSS இதெல்லாம் படிக்க போறோம். இது அப்ளைஸ் எவ்ரிவேர். பட் வி ஹாவ் சோசன் this framework. ஏன்னா எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம லேர்ன் பண்ண முடியாது இல்லையா? ஸோ அது இப்போ எல்லா ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க் ஜாவா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க் டெய்லி ஒரு ஜாவா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க் ரிலீஸ் ஆகும். அது ஒரு கிண்டலாவே சொல்லுவாங்க நிறைய ஜாவா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ரோல்ல, தூங்கி எந்திரிக்கும் போது இன்னொரு ஜாவா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க் ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ அது மாதிரி நம்ம எல்லா ஜாவா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க்கையும் படிக்க முடியாது. வி கேனாட் லேர்ன் ஆல் த JS ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க்ஸ் which has been released already. So instead, what we are going to learn is like take one popular framework like React, learn all the core principles, apply it there, and that will give you the knowledge to apply the same principles in other frameworks as well. அதே பிரின்சிபல்ஸ் அண்ட் லேர்னிங்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டு இன்னொரு ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க்ஸ்ல அதை நீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ உங்களை வி வில் எக்யூப் வித் லைக் கோயிங் ஆன். தேவா சொன்ன மாதிரி வந்து இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ் லேர்ன் பண்றது மட்டும் இல்லாம, நாட் ஓன்லி learning about the programming language or the framework, but also market yourself on that skill. Like apart from we finding you a job for you, you like you post your daily learnings in LinkedIn. That's a very good point that Deva has made. நீங்க லிங்க்டின்ல more and more active இருக்கிறப்ப your profile stand out from others. Okay, so yeah, that would be, I deviated from your question, but I wanted to touch upon that as well. But did I answer your question? Answer பண்ணிட்டோமா?
Yes, yes, sir.
Super. Okay.
Okay, so now you guys can ask questions about the course. Anybody has any question about this course? Any question? We didn't so far எந்த டீடைலும் கொடுக்கல நாங்க. So we'll give the details based on your questions.
ஸோ இப்போ நான் சையூர்ல வந்து பேட்ச் 2 இருக்கு மேம். எனக்கு மண்டே, வெனஸ்டே, சாட்டர்டே கிளாஸ் மேம். ஸோ 3 days வந்து வீக்லி கிளாஸ் இருக்கு. இப்போ இந்த கிளாஸும் அதுவும் மாறி மாறி நடக்க மாதிரி.
So yeah, so what we're going to do is Monday is the course order. One of the part of the course is MySQL, which is Mondays. You will have Wednesday class just for data structures and algorithm. Saturday no class. Saturday Anu அவங்க கிளாஸ்க்கு பதிலா you will be working on the project. Saturday and or Sunday. Okay, other questions?
Like, ma'am, what the project based on? Like the tech,
What is the tech
told
stack?
HTML,
Yeah, Logesh.
Yeah. So like I said, the tech stack is going to be on front end where we'll be using React.js and we'll be using some plain CSS, or we can use something called Tailwind CSS that is very popular these days. But since you should learn basic CSS, we'll be using some plain CSS. And apart from that, in the backend, we use Node.js. We use a framework called Express. It's a very minimal framework. It doesn't have much abstractions, like so that you will learn the core Node.js and get well versed with it. And we'll be using Postgres as the database, and we'll be using normal PG, not it. Sorry, MySQL as the database. We use Postgres in our company, so mostly, yeah. So we will be using MySQL as the database. That's going to be our tech stack. We'll be using Git, and even for the deployment, we still need to think about it. Suddenly it came to my mind, but we will let you know about the deployment. The deployment is like you have developed the application, now you want to make it live. We will even go further into buying a domain and how we are going to deploy it in a server, maybe AWS, we don't know, or Google Cloud Platform, any public cloud, we'll be deploying the application. All these things we are going to operate. It's going to be a highly hands-on learning, and you will be industry ready. Like when you complete this project, you will have your own, like you will have confidence to build your own app itself. Who knows? Like, so like Srijit, with Srijit itself, you can start your own startup as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I answer your question, Holly?
Yeah, actually, I'm very new to Node.js and the React.js. Will this work for me, or how can I know the basics? Is there
Yeah,
that
that's where you
requires
can.
for the project? Yeah.
Definitely, no worries. So only what we need is curiosity, and like there was a consistency. So please show up. Like showing up is the basic requirement we need, apart from the basic programming skills you have. Yeah.
The course is meant for people like you, Amalya, with no prior experience other than its regular programming knowledge, no prior experience in Node or React or any of these things. So you'll be fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, others. I'm going to call out all the names, and everybody has to ask at least one question. Aditya Raja.
No, ma'am. I don't have any questions. When the session might start, ma'am?
When are we starting the course?
Yes, ma'am.
Next week.
Next week, right, ma'am?
So, Aditya Raja, are you part of Sayur already, or are you new?
No, ma'am. New.
No, what? No, not new, or no, not part of it.
No, I
In
am
the
new.
college, new. So, where are you from? Which college?
Say the Institute of Technology.
Yeah, so I'm sure you can find out from other students. Okay, fine. So when is your question? Abulli already asked. Deepa already asked. Godwin, Jaya Darshini.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. So while we are learning, will we learn from the scratch, or we'll learn through doing the projects?
Yeah, I can take it. Yeah. So
Like,
yes, yeah. Complete your question. I'll answer it.
do we learn the technologies from scratch, or we will be given a task of doing the project, and through that we have to learn technologies?
Yeah, so each and everyone will be in a different level of expertise now. Some of the people on their own interest might have learned some Node.js or JavaScript or something, but we are going to assume you will be having only basic programming skills, and we will teach you all the basics from ground up: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So when I say JavaScript, it works on both browser as well as in server, right? So we also explain all the things: how JavaScript works on browser. In React.js, we render it in the browser. In Node.js, we run it in the server. How does it work? So all those basic things we will explain. How a web application works, how a front end communicates with the back end, how a back end communicates with the database, get the data, and we display it in the front end. All these basic things we'll explain you. So also we'll be sending some YouTube videos or something to learn by yourself, and complete some small coding exercise as well. So initially, we won't be starting the capstone project like that. The Sayur app. Initially, we will be giving you some basic to-do app kind of thing. Like in this basic to-do app, you will be creating some to-do list items. You will be adding, editing, deleting. In programming, what we call it a script. It stands for create, read, update, and delete. That mostly covers everything, right? So when you create a resource, it creates something in the database, and you need a front end, back end, as well as the database for that. Same way, you read what you have created, which means you are displaying what you have created. And update is like updating the already existing data, and delete is deleting the already existing data. When you complete this, you understand the whole flow of a web application, like how a request goes to the server, and how server communicates with the database, and how it responds, and all those stuff. So once you are familiar with all these things, we will move to the capstone project.
Yes.
That's the idea. Did I answer your question, Jay?
Praveen. Praveen, question.
மேம் இப்போ நான் பைத்தான் பேட்ச் ஒன்ல இருக்கேன் மேம். எனக்கு வெனஸ்டே, சாட்டர்டே அண்ட் எனக்கு சண்டே கிளாஸ் இருக்கு மேம். அப்போ எனக்கு கிளாஸ் ஆகுமா இந்த கோர்ஸ்?
Yeah. So, batch 1க்கு சண்டே கிளாஸ் இருக்கா?
ஆமாம், சண்டே இருக்கு மேம்.
சண்டே இருக்கு, சாட்டர்டே இல்ல இல்லையா?
ஃப்ரைடே இருக்கு மேம்.
Okay. So you have on so yes, I was thinking this course is so நீங்க you will have to adjust. I'll have to Saturday. We'll probably change the time.
Okay, ma'am.
We'll adjust the time so that, but you may have to attend both.
Okay, ma'am.
So we have to see எத்தனை ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வராங்கன்னு பார்த்துட்டு we'll have to adjust the time based on that. So
Okay,
இந்த
ma'am.
class Saturday இருந்ததுன்னா Sunday அந்த class or something like that. Get to
Okay,
figure
ma'am.
out. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pavan Kumar. Questions.
I'm already
So course பத்தி எந்த question இல்லையா? இந்த course related எந்த question இல்லையா? All right. Vijayashri.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
No doubts, ma'am.
No questions? No, it has to be at least one. Course சொல்றோம் ஒரு கோர்ஸ் இத்தனை ஒரு நாள் தான் அந்த கோர்ஸ் நடக்குமா இல்ல ஒரு வருஷம் நடக்குமா? 20 years? Question இல்லையா? You have to ask some question.
Like the duration of the course.
Yes, that is my question. So, anyways, go ahead, Lagesh. Vijayashri, think of a question. இவங்க இதை ஆன்சர் பண்ணி முடிச்ச பிறகு திருப்பி you have to ask a question.
Yeah, so I would say like I want this course to be open-ended, but we all know like we need to have some time. Like I would say at least 6 months time is needed for you. 6 months is very minimum. Like minimum 6 months.
Ma'am, do we
effort
have
is needed
any
from you all.
certificates for this, ma'am? Certificates.
Sir, I'm currently in a 7th semester of my engineering. It will end in December. So from January, my 8th sem starts. From that, we need to do an internship. Will this course end by that time, or will this go ahead of that?
Yeah, you know, Chitra, I want to take it.
So your last semester is a internship semester, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know where you're going to be doing the internship?
Not yet.
Okay.
Like
This
we
can
have
be
to do
considered as that.
compulsory, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand. This project can be that internship. We had one other student do it like that last year. So even though you started now, the project that we have in mind, we want to do it in 6 months. That will be the phase 1 of the project, right? It's going to be a huge application, and it will be done in different phases, right? Few features first, and then next set of features, and then next set of features. So you can get started, and you can even continue this project. How long is your the 8th semester project? How long should it be? 3 months, 6 months? What is it?
Yeah, minimum 3 months, maximum 6 months from Jan.
Okay.
It should start. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, starting is not a problem. So you can definitely use this as your project, your internship project.
Yeah.
So we are in what, August, September, October, November, December. But December probably people may not work, mainly because of college final exams and things like that. So you only have 3 months, and 3 months you will not be completing this project because there's a lot to learn. We talked about, we are starting from scratch. So there'll be a lot to learn, and no project gets done in 3 months, especially when you are students. So it will minimum required 6 months, and again 6 months plus. It all depends on your interest. You can continue. You can use this as your college project. That we will work it out at that point. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Vijayashri, are you ready with your question?
Ma'am, actually, I have a doubt, ma'am. Right now, in my college, they are doing some online classes, ma'am, for some competition. I'll be attending it for 3 years, ma'am. So by
3
chance, if I
years,
miss 3 hours, ma'am.
3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. So if I miss any classes, will it affect anything, ma'am? So like further
So
any.
So yeah, we highly recommend you attend all the classes, but we also have video recording. So the only thing we expect is I did not attend the class, so I didn't do my work. That is not an acceptable excuse, which you already know. Attending Sayur, you already know that, right? So so the idea is, yes, you can miss the class, not a problem. People will have other things to do, but you cannot miss your work. You have to spend extra time or whatever, do the work, and when you come to the next class, you should be up to date with your work. That's it.
Okay, ma'am.
So what is this competition thing?
For debate, ma'am.
For debate, okay, nothing to do with technology thing. It's okay, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Okay, anybody else? Other questions? Go from India. Anybody have any other questions? We're also on time. Let's see. I had a long list of questions, hoping you will ask those things, but technology. So one question I had is, raise your hand based on the question I'm asking. We talked about back end, front end, and sis Pavitra, are you still there? Did she leave? She left. How many of you want to do UX learning? Raise your hand. I'll get a thing. How many of you are interested in learning UX? Okay, so that is my people open queue. So 4 of you. Now, these 4 of you, are you interested in learning other technologies also, like the React and Node? Or do you only want to learn? Okay, so raise your hand. Put your hand down, please. Raise your hand if you, yeah, Praveen, hand down. Okay. Raise your hand if you only want to learn UX. I don't want to learn anything else. I'm not interested in learning React. I'm not interested in learning MySQL. I'm only interested in learning UX. Raise your hand if that's the case. Okay, so you all want to learn UX and all the programming, is that right? Okay. Is there anyone, yeah, is there anyone who doesn't want to learn UX? Like I'm not interested in UX at all. I'm only interested in learning this tech stack, but not UX. Is there anyone like that? No interest in UX. Okay, so everyone wants to learn everything. Is there anyone who want to learn backend only, but not interested in front end? I want to learn Node.js and Express and API calls and things like that, MySQL, all that, but not interested in React. Is there anyone like that? Okay, so everybody wants to learn everything. Is that right? Any questions on this questions I asked? Anybody has any questions? The technology, why MySQL? Why are you asking about UX? Why are you asking about?
It seems like I have a question. I got a question from Praveen. Lovishana, now we are storing data. Listen, local host example. Same thing we will do after first. Okay. Okay. I believe XAMPP. I'm hearing it after a long time. We use it for hosting PHP applications. I believe in Windows we use something called WAMP. Yeah, this is a local host base. What is local host? First of all, it is your own laptop. Okay, so where you can run the database, the backend, which is Node.js application, as well as the front end React application in your same machine. So that is what you do in your when you are doing the development, because you don't want to host your application in the cloud and then do the development. You do all your development in your local machine. And yes, we store all the data in the local machine only while you are developing. So for the initial to-do app, which we have discussed, everybody will be having a separate GitHub repo, and each one will be doing their own development in your local machine. Okay, but when it comes to the Capstone project, you will be collaborating and working like in a real company environment, where all of them will be working in a single GitHub repository, and you will be creating separate branches, merging them, creating pull requests, reviewing whatever we do in company. Will be doing that. So that is how it is going to be, and we will be working on all the local machine setup and everything. We'll be teaching those things as well. Yes. Does that answer the question, Praveen?
Yes, and I got it.
Awesome.
Okay, I think we can end with this, unless anyone has any questions. Any other questions? I'll put some details in Sayur batch too. So there's only one person, Aditya Raja is the only one who's not with Sayur. Any other questions? I'm gonna end the recording before I talk. Any other questions regarding this? Yes, Pavan, yes.
Why SQL? SQL database in Firebase.
Okay. Pawan, the question is like why SQL and not any Firebase or uh, some databases like that. The reason is like I have already said, it's been widely used. I would say I would talk about my company a little bit for this. So even my previous company, if you have heard of Freshworks, which is already unicorn, which is $1 billion company, and they have gone public as well. It's a public company, and now Rocket Lane, they have got their second round of funding, which means um, uh, they got like 24 million as the second round of funding. All these companies still use MySQL and Postgres, which are relational databases. So it's just like, so why I gave it as example is like all these very grown companies, even YouTube or other big companies which I can name, they still use relational databases. Okay. So once you learn relational database, you get all the basics like how databases work, how backend system interact with database, and how you basically store data and relate them together and all those things, all the basics you get. Then obviously, yes, you can on your own interest, you can move ahead and learn databases like I don't know MongoDB, Firestore, or Firebase. There is something called Presto, which uses SQLite, which is a file-based SQL-based data storage. So all those things are there. So there is like JavaScript frameworks. There are so many databases as well. There is YAML-based databases. Like there is something called Pinecone, which stores vectors, vector embeddings as data. So there are wide variety of databases. So we choose one popular relational database, and we are going to learn that. So does that answer your question, Pawan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?